Hello everybody, my name is Farmer Phil, and in today's video we are going mowing the third cut silage, and we also have to mow some whole crop. We also have to mow for baling for customers. So we have a lot of baling to do. We have 120 acres ish of third cut for ourselves, and then there's probably, I'm going to say, somewhere 20 or 25 acres to do for customers as well for baling. The weather, as you can see, has finally taken up, and we are looking at it to be dry till possibly Friday dinner time, so we're giving ourselves lots of chance to get it done. So I'm going to go make a start. All of our third cut we're putting into the pit. We are going to group to try and clear it off ground for ground to try and dry in the sun. So ground conditions could be a bit tricky, and we have grass everywhere. There's paddocks and silage ground and all sorts to be put in. Because we sold all our second cut, apart from the bales we kept on the out farm, a little bit nervous as to whether we have enough grass. So in my mind, it's just taking every blade of grass that I can get mowed right now. We're going to leave it down for a day or two, depending on how combining goes, and try and lift it Wednesday. So that should give it enough time to dry the ground, maybe get a bit of wilt on the grass, and get it gathered. I'll get the 99, mowers are on, and we go knocking. So before we go mowing, I want to turn my knives over because I know that I have knives there again a little bit, just could do with getting a turn now, especially with the going to mow third cut would usually be that bit of a softer grass, so we'll make sure we have good sharp knife's edge to work with to make sure that we get it all. The softer grass is just that bit harder to cut, especially when the knives are that bit blunt. So just have the knives changed, so we'll put 2.5 boxes of knives into it. So we have blades that are like this one side wore, one side not wore, but they're bent up, so you go turn them around, they become bent down to strike the bed, you can't use them. And then we have ones where you could say you get good value out of a knife where you have both sides well wore down. So throw them into the skip, we're ready to go. But apart from that, the tractor is getting very hard to start, and this morning she wouldn't start. Reckon the batteries are gone in her, so they're just sticking in 2 new batteries. So not just going to get the early start I was hoping for, but that's the joys of the job. Canopy the shed. Right, I think I'm free. So that's us ready to rock and roll. We've just filled the tractor with diesel, and this tractor holds 401 litres. So she is a thirsty baby, and we will be running at full tilt around 40 litres an hour, so we get about 10 hours work out of the tractor, and I don't think it's going to be enough diesel to do all the mowing we have to do today. It's going to be late when we get finished. We may do some tomorrow, we may not. We'll see how we're getting on in that. Some of the crops are heavy, some of the crops are light, so it's a bit of a mixed bag. We're going to start where we usually start, in the big field, to get a good start made. So I think the last time I mowed it was about 2 hours and 30 minutes, so we should be mowing it about 2 hours and 20 minutes. All the silage we'll be putting into the pit for ourselves is going to be grouped. All the stuff that's baling is going to be left out flat. Whole crop is going to be grouped as well. All this silage on the ground, and when I mean we are mowing every blade of grass that we have that I know we can mow, I mean literally everything. Get mowing. So we're just in the big field now, letting it down, and as you can probably tell, it's quite strong. It's very strong, no point saying anything else. Probably could have been mowed, I'd say, a good solid month ago. The way we done that, we first cut and second cut we baled it, and because of the quantity or the area land that we were baling, we've done it in sections. So we've done this field first, and then we've done another one, and then we've done another one. And between this being cut and the last bit being cut, there was a good 3 if not 4 weeks. The last field we baled is in great order for third cut. This field is just that bit further on, so it will bulk the pit. Not just going to have the same quality, but it's probably the only downside. Just getting that balance right just didn't really work for us. We'll see what next year brings. We'll see what demand there is, how much silage is left in the pit, and all the rest, and then we'll call what we'll be doing next year to see what way it works. So the last time we mowed this for the second cut this year was 2 hours and 13 minutes. I don't think I'll be able to do it as fast as that grouping, because grouping is just a little bit more tricky. You can't go just as fast because you have to give yourself time to lift the mowers before you drive into your 30-foot sward, and then drop the mowers again from PTO. Back PTO. She's alive. Close the window. Give her the throttle. Up the speed. Press B. let's get mowing. So we're flying away here. So we're not going as fast as I would have done the first cut or second cut. We're kind of heading towards max out there, so we'll run away at that. Keep out of rush a bit more. The mud in a bit tighter, but just expecting the ground to be wet. It's holding up pretty good. The fine house water stuff behind us now. Lift his eyes, give us all you can see is the dirt to the wind now. Not bad now. Keep going round and round the field. 38 acres. Take a few minutes. Going for the dinner there now. You can see where the wind has all kind of blew it down. It's quite strong stuff now. One thing, it's going to fill the pit. I'll fill bellies anyways. The rest of the stuff will be that'll make it a bit better. We'll go for the spuds. We'll come back to it. And as you can tell, bonnet is up. We are broke down. Now, it's not a bad break. I have the bits to fix it. Apart from, I cannot keep. I have a full. A person, as a follower of the channel, dropped me in a full set of tools for the toolbox, and a toolbox actually for the tractor. There wasn't one on when we bought it. And I do my damnedest to keep the tools in it. But people keep robbing the tools out of the tractor. And when I mean people, I mean Father Phil, Brendan, everyone else in the farm. Oh, you want a tool? Go to 99 because it always has tools in it. They never put them back. And I don't have a screwdriver. And what's after happening, so it's happened to me once before in this tractor. She broke. I have the clip off and I have the new clip on. I was trying to tighten it with a wee yoke, but it's not going to. It just can't get to work. But she blew one of these clips off. So when I was mowing long ground, next thing, as she was squealing out past the edge of the pipe. It should be down on power and she screeches like mad. First time it happened to me, took a long time to figure out what it was, and we actually, Father Phil made a phone call to Amir Hayes, who runs a fleet of them, and he was able to tell him what the problem was. So I actually have spare clips from when that happened. So I'm waiting on Liv to come up with a Phillips head screwdriver to me to be able to fix it so I can get back going. Flying visit, Liv is gone again. So now it's just a matter of tightening this. You can stay with me now. How do I know that we have it fixed? Because give her a second just to boot up and all the rest. We give her throttle, full tilt, no noise. Let's fire up all these mowers again. Try and get this bloody field caught. And we are finally coming to the far side of the field. We started at that side. It's the way the field is, it runs into a triangle, so the point is that end, but you end up with short ground no matter what way. So we've always done it road to canal. The canal is in front of us there, just that hedge there is the canal. The next bit we're going to do is 2 paddocks of the multi-species sward, and then we had the 12-acre field at the end of the line at the bottom called the stony field. We had it kept, but there's not a lot on it. It's going to be wet because it's a wet field, and there's cattle in the way, and we're just infected. This is looking like it's going to yield well. We'll leave that to keep the bulls out for maybe an extra 2 weeks, and we'll not mow. And I'll be disappointed with how the stony field is done. So far, we got 1 graze, 1 cut, and this will be its 2nd graze. It's not producing. So in my mind, it's up for receipt. Kind of on the thinking of putting in red clover in it. A bit of work to do with the shores. I'd say there's some of the shores in the middle of it. There's old clay shores, and I'd say some of them could be blocked. We'll have to do something about it. We'll have to lift the mowers here. Maybe next year, but red clover is what I'm thinking. But then the flip side of that is we do graze it maybe 2 or 3 times a year normally. I'd like to try and get back to getting 3 cuts off it. Definitely 2, possibly 3. But we've also been able to graze it 3 times. But then the red clover, it's not really for grazing. I don't know, let me know in the comments what kind of grass do you think I should put in. I'll ask Gold Crop, see what they think. We're going to drop off that 12 acres on account of how much this looks like in the bulk up. And it'll mean we'll keep the bulls that are on the bottoms out for another 2 weeks. Because they can go and stay on that for about 2 weeks. When they've that grazed, more or less ready for another 2 batches of bulls, they're more or less ready for it. We get this week over us. Next week, before we cut the maize, it's going to be preparing the timber shed and getting the rest of the bulbs in. Not much to do with ups and downs. You just get office here. She does all the running. And sit here. Last bay of the field. And we are done. 2 hours 38 minutes, and that includes stopping to fix it. If for the conditioner stops spinning, we fold them up and bay on to the multi-species sward, 2 paddocks, knock them, then we go on and knock a bit for baling for a customer, and then we go back into our own side. More or less I'm starting here and then I'm mowing all the fields all the way through till I get to the far end. A lot of tray grass sitting on top of the mowers. Yeah, anyways, we're done. We'll be on. Just out here with our multi-species sward, and you can see a line there. Well, I think the line is actually there, but you can see the overhang of the sprayer. The line should be there, and that's one paddock. That's another paddock. That paddock was be the strongest growth of grass on it, because that would have been that paddock. That side was grazed after that one, so that one's stronger. But you can see this side, it's a lot cleaner. That's because we sprayed that side. We sprayed that side with Pro Clover when we were spraying the reseed and the shop field. There was 3 acres there, pack was a 5 acre pack. So 2 acre paddock, we sprayed that. You can see the difference. Clean, not so clean. A lot of docks. That's the biggest problem with down here is the docks. The small bay chicory and plantain still out there, didn't just shake it all. It's not just as good as what the multi-species is there, but there's also a hell of a lot of docks, as you can see. But one thing I do want to say is this field, it's not the best field, it's not the driest field on the farm, but this is by far the most productive field in terms of grass on the farm, like by and large miles. I think it's our 3rd year since we reseeded it with the multi-species sward. No, we reseeded in 23, so there's 24, there's 25, so this is our 2nd year. This is by far the best. There's 40 calves grazing on it all year. Now they do rotate on to the next field we reseeded as well, just to give us a chance. But we've mowed every paddock on this twice. We've probably grazed every paddock on it, I'm going to say 2 if not 3 times. And also the field above, we've mowed it once and grazed it 3 times I think as well. Just super growth, super bit of grass growing here. And the multi-species just seems to be working lovely. Be interesting seeing, now that that bit is sprayed, how will that compare to the rest of the paddocks. Next year we're going to Pro Clover the whole thing again, just to take the docks out, because the docks are too bad and it's only going to get worse, it's not going to get any better. Comes to management here, got some urea in the spring, got pig slurry, and then every time it was grazed or mowed it got slurry, and we mulched after every grazing. Be kind of inclined to do more multi-species, but the flip side is the docks. So once we get this cleared, calves will be rotating then to graze the back swards here and that. Let's stop yapping, we'll get mowing. Just checked my phone just to see that I missed calls while I was out talking rubbish, and Liv just sent me a picture of Christmas stuff. I don't know if she's in Aldi or where she is, but she was gone for us coming to drop beef boxes off. So big thanks to everyone who's buying beef boxes. You want to try some of our beef for yourself, head in the description down below, Stewart Family Farm Longford, and you can order your beef box there. But she's doing a bit of shopping and there's just a whole aisle of Christmas stuff. It's only the 22nd of September. Christmas is like 3 months away. Halloween hasn't even come yet. There's already Christmas stuff out. It's a bit ridiculous to be honest now, but anyways. Just to show you what's there. Look how much clover. And then the rest is plantain. Or not plantain, sorry. Chicory. I think chicory is them broad leaves. And that's a thick mat of stuff. Anyways, we're gonna get mowing, get something done. So for those of you wondering, why are we grouping the silage? One of the big reasons why we're grouping it, because of fields like this, is land is still a bit soft after all the rain. We're clearing the ground and we're sweeping all the grass into the middle now. And that allows whatever bit of drying we have between now and when we cut it, to actually get in and dry out the land better. If we were to mow it and leave it out flat, we would get better wilt on our grass, but the moisture in the ground and the dampness of the ground wouldn't really soak away, it wouldn't get away, so to speak, and dry it. But the advantages of grouping over leaving it out and rolling it up is you reduce the amount of ash content that you have in your silage, and you get a higher protein content. And that's been true since we bought the mowers, our third cut. We've always grouped it, put it in, and it's always come back with the highest protein content, the lowest ash content. The drying matter is always low because it always tends to be a bit damper, and usually comes back with the highest DMD, the digestible. Then the other side of it, Eric is in college, he's not coming back to help with the silage, so we're kind of down a rake man, so this kind of saves that job as well. A right sward to stuff now under that. Yeah. So we're just mowing the other side of, we call it kind of a valley, but it's not much of a valley. You can just see in the distance there are rows. It actually doesn't look that impressive on the camera, but I can see it. My nice straight roads and a big field across the way. So, not a big field here. So, we'll get her knocked all the same. Shouldn't be too bad. What else that? And I don't know when we're going to bale it. We'll be rolling it up and baling it probably Thursday or maybe Friday morning. Maybe. We don't really know yet. But we'll get down anyways and we'll get it all done. So, that's the main thing. We are just out here now in the next bit of ground to do. And this, what we have to do now, this is on the strong side, and it's one of the things, the hay, this is where we cut hay, and we've part of what we cut. Some of what we're putting in now is third cut, some of it is second cut. Anywhere we made hay is second cut, and second cut looks like this, a bit strong of itself. Probably really going to have to sit down and figure it out better next year. I don't particularly like hay, because you get 3 cuts if you don't do hay, you're at 2 cuts if you go for hay. We only have half the field to do, because we grazed that side with the heifers that didn't go to the bull. They're off for a good while now. There's a nice wee pick of grass there, so we'll probably run a batch of calves up here to run the back sward of what we're mowing now and graze that, and that should nearly keep them going till time to go in. We get this knocked as well. Mowing the paddock above the heifer, the cows and the bull and the heifers that are out there. This is the top paddock, great crop of grass on it. So there is, super. So we'll mow a bit above the rushes. But the calves belonging to the cows, so we bought 2 suckler cows with calves at foot. So you can see the little Charlie calf, there's the black calf is the limousine calf, and then the brownie lad, you can't see them. Anyways, they decided to creep feed themselves and come out. So alright, once the cows don't come out here in the heifers, but they'll come out. We've lots of grass ahead of them. We'll keep them out to kind of mid-October. When they finish grazing this run down to the river, then we'll put them in. But yeah, you can't see them. There's no point in trying to show them. But yes, we did buy a limousine cow, a Charlie calf and foot, Charlie cow, a limousine calf and foot, and then we had this cow has her own calf tails. Anyways, great crop of grass on this bit here. Just kept it up. I mowed, this is the second time mowing. I took a crop of bales off it earlier in the year, and since I'd done that we grazed it, and there's another crop. So we've grazed this 3 times and the crop of bales. That is this bit done, so we'll move on to the next field on this farm, and then there's a paddock below that to cut, then we move on to a different farm. So I got a message from Michael, we call him Michael is how you say it in Dutch, just how his name is pronounced, but we call him Michael because it's a little bit easier. Just in case you hear me say but, he sent me a video on WhatsApp. They're cutting away beans with the customer, so it's organic beans, a bit on the dirty side, but they're getting through it, so hopefully they can get that done this evening, get their own beans tomorrow. So we're in the next field. This is third cut, and this is more kind of like what I'd like to be cutting rather than kind of what I've cut so far away. The big field than that, just that bit lighter, that bit more leaf, cleaner, you know, that's more what you'd want. Not going to be a lot on it though, that's the flip side. Quality or quantity, and it's the fine line between the two. So it is, but that's kind of more what I'd like to be putting in than what I've cut in the 2 fields. The last field that we grazed the heifers on and the other one. And I have a funny feeling I have knocked knives off here. There's one knife gone. I was leaving the field, I thought I seen a wee stripe just by the edge of what I was mowing. For those of you that don't know, the fan that's there is cooling the oil in the tank, which has been run by the pump there, which drives the groupers. And that's to try and keep the oil cool. Go the other side, so I need to get the tool. Yeah, when I get this one done, I'm either going over halfway or I'm just about at halfway at the minute. Anyways, oh yeah, we're off tractor. We're finished out here now. This is our third cut. Paddock mode, then just the far side of the wire there. There's the wire just there. So there's a steep bit of a brow, so we use that as a paddock. But we haven't we didn't graze it, so put in. But one thing, the shade more. Look at the red. I thought it was the sun. The sun is set now. It's all gone. This reddy tinge that I was watching on TikTok. I think it was DLF, possibly. But it's rust on the grass. So these ones here. Rust is a fungus. You actually, I know more in barley in that than I would grass. But it's a fungus that attaches to the leaf, and then that's like the spores of the fungus then ruppled onto the mowers, and it has this reddish tinge now that makes it look like the sun was setting. It's going to be dark by the time we get next field done. Next block of ground is 15, 28 and 5, 3 hours ish to mow that. Next block of ground is 3, 3, 4, 10 and 2, and then I'm done. It was just starting to fall, it's just starting to get a cold of itself. Tractor's looking nice. It looks way darker. In my eyesight, makes it look like it's way darker than what the camera seems to say it is. Probably one of the last mowing videos of the year. Once we get this done, Father Phil wanted me to take the mowers off in the shed where to be stored, but I don't want to. I want to leave them at home till they get washed, to be sure. Now, the latest we mowed stuff was like the 20th of October, so there is the possibility of late stuff. Not for ourselves, this will be the last. This is most certainly the last bit we will be doing. But we have another customer too. Can take off the paddock on the late side. It's time to turn on a few lights. And we'll be on to the next field. I'm not going to do too much filming in the dark now because you can never really see much. Plan is to get all done today, so then get straw done tomorrow, so we can lift it Wednesday, so we can finish lifting it Thursday, roll the pit, cover it, and get the baling done either Thursday or Friday. That'd be the plan. We're mowing away. Go try and get, as I said, this block of ground done. Father Phil just rang me there, finished cutting beans for the customer. So, well, I say just finished, to have it cut in good time. And then the combine moved into our beans, so they should get that. The guest army done it tomorrow anyway, 26 acres of beans. So, I don't think it's going to be as good as last year's beans. And last year's established crop of beans. This year's crop, just the pods aren't there. Last year we had like 6 foot tall beans, pods from top to bottom. This year we have 6 foot tall beans, but the pods are only 2/3 or 3/4 of the way up. Just didn't seem to flower the entire length of the pod. So a little bit disappointed in that, but we should still have a decent crop off them. So mowing the last bit of the last field now. Mowing it out fat. This is for baling. So that's it, the dew is down now, so we'll be mowing it damp. It's going to be down for a few days, so it shouldn't be an issue. Getting through the acre is more important now, to be honest. So we're fairly horsing through it, so it should be finished in about half an hour, I'd like to think. Just start ups and downs of a 15 acre field, so about half an hour we should be done. All steer at night, only job, because I know that this line I'm doing here, in the middle of the field, is going to match up with the line over here going up that way, which is my hedgerow over there, which I can't even see. We keep on mowing all night long, and we are done. 1 hour on the nose. About 2 hours in the morning, I would like to think, should finish the mowing in its entirety. As every night, pick it up in the morning. It is another beautiful sunny autumn day here in Longford. So we're just getting to the 99 parked in front of the house last night. So I have to go bring it into the yard and fill her up with diesel. There's only about 100 litres left in it, so burnt about 300 yesterday. Not enough to do it. It's 2 to 3 hours. 2 hours, I have enough. 3 hours, I run out of diesel. Morning checks, oil is good. And everything else should be pretty sound. Clean off. I'd say inside is probably the one thing with the front mower, you get a lot of dirt building up, and I would say the rads could be being dirty too. Take off the heavy stuff. Should be. Now the temperatures are colder, she should be fine just to finish off what's left to be done. It's just going 11 o'clock, so we're not too bad. Got the calves moved. A few other small jobs done this morning. So, dew is more or less gone. A little bit of dampness still in the grass. We get diesel and we get mowing again. Mowing away here, grand now. Third cut crop of grass on this one here. Nice stuff now. With some adds a bit of quality to the pit. Just in the red clover here now. As you may see, the red clover has come back with a massive bang. There seemed to be very little here in the second cut. This is the third cut. And it's the whole field, it's just gone lovely with red clover. Now yes, we do have a dock problem. So the plan, I think, to spray either Pro Clover here or maybe M50. I think we'll spray Pro Clover just to take the docks out of it. But this field was bad with ragwort, and we pulled it all. Possibility we'll see rosettes in the spring. If we do, we'll go with M50 because that'll clear them out of it. It's M50, but it'll check the clover, so we could have a year or two with more amount of clover. And the last time we were here, we were like, it's kind of dead over now. We'll just spray it and that'll be it. But it's come back so well, we'll try and keep it. We are going to group it, we're not going to leave it flat, so that's a little bit, because with the red clover in your silage increases the nitrogen or the protein content. But the problem with the red clover is that protein is in nitrogen, and if you can't get a good wilt on it, it can actually go black and rot rather than preserved. So grouping it wouldn't be the best option if we don't get a good wilt, but hopefully, fingers crossed, that sun, baking sun, and a day on the ground in a row, we can get enough of a wilt on it. There's only 4 acres in the field, so in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot. It'll be 1 or 2 load on a layer in the pit. Little bit of a waste in that regard that she can't really direct it now. The second cut was baled, and that's in the bales to feed the Waynans, so it'll be made use of that way. But kind of want one more red clover because it seems to be doing quite well, so it is. And the variety we sowed here at Gore Crop, I think it was Fergal, seems to work very nicely. But anyways, right, we're ready to rock and roll, so let's get it on the ground. Savage, lovely crop of stuff out here. It's probably one of the best crops I've seen on it since we put it in. Lovely head of clover in it, and real nice. Back windows open, see her bulking up lovely there. You can see that kind of a haze, and that haze is kind of the moisture of the dew and the grass kind of getting shook out as it goes through the conditioner, the conditioners in the mower. I'm well chuffed with it now. Really has turned the corner. That is all the third cut on the ground. So just mowed this paddock here, calves there, way too strong. We were kind of strip grazing it and then walking it into the ground. So we've taken it out, did a bit of graze backwards all the way up. So yeah, happy out. Now we just gotta go mow 5 acres of whole crop. Here we are, the bit of whole crop we have to mow. Barley and grass. There's plantain in it as well. A little bit of plantain in it. Barley still soft. So you can see there, still squish it in your fingers, which is you want. If it went hard, the cattle wouldn't be able to digest it, go through them. It's not the best crop of stuff now. The barley's a little bit thin on it. But what we gotta do now is just turn up all our mowers so that we don't catch any stones, because we do not want to catch any stones. We shorten the front top length, pulls back the mower, curls it up. The back mower, we lengthen the top length, pushes it out and turns up the mower. Back mower is a little bit harder. We have to drop the back stands and then we can let down the mower and start lengthening out the top line. But you hit turned up. we're going to be grouping it so that we get a 30-foot row, and so that the biggest thing with the grain is if you were to mow it and then rake it or tether or anything like that, every time you touch it, it's going to lose some of that grain. Some of that grain is going to fall off the head. So you're going for minimum amount of touches. If it's going into a pit, could run the whole crop header with it through it. The only problem with our whole crop header being a finger knife system, it's not very keen on grass. Grass makes it quite difficult, so this is what it is. Anyways, we get this all turned up. So just looking at the bed setting, I just have it lifted to the right height. We're cutting at about 2.5 inches. So hopefully that's enough to dodge any stones. We get this on the ground, hopefully, fingers crossed, without hitting any stones. So far so good. On a big stone in the back of the hedge there, just where that bit isn't cut. I'm trying to keep my eye on the ball here. Not too bad. Something affected the crop quite a bit. Not as good as some of the stuff I've mowed in the past or the soil this year, but yeah, that could be off with that. We'll see what's off, but yeah, down, we out here without any break. I'll be happy. Flying through it here now. And that is us done. So now that we're finished mowing and we're finished kind of using the groupers for the time being, want to turn down the things for cleaning. So this is our sward stuff here. So it's a bit drying now, that's the only thing. Tends to not build that terribly well when it's damp. So what we have to do now before we head home is I have to turn it up, down. So what they are is scrapers, and they scrape the roller that the conditioner belt runs on. Because what happens is if you don't clean, there'll be bits of grass and bits of dirt get into that roller that's under that there, and it swells on the belt till it stops it from moving. So when you finish, you pop them, turn on the PTO, drop it, let the conditioner run, and then that runs off whatever dirt. Hold up, we'll be on. So look, there's not much more to say. That is it. Turf cuts on the ground, balings on the ground. The weather is superb. It is a great spell. Hope everyone is getting the last of the work tidied up. They're cutting beans for ourselves. Straw is turned, and I gotta get home, get some tea, get the big square baler on, mowers off, big square baler on, and get baling. So look, hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions, anything like that, as always, leave them in the comments down below. One final thing, I think we're going to be putting the sunflowers in first and then putting in the silage. So there could be some unique action in the next video. Anyways, hope you enjoyed today's video. As always, please like and subscribe to the channel. Videos every Wednesday and Sunday. That's it for me. Good luck.